मैडम खुद एक एथलीट है, आइकन है हमारे, तो मैडम से पूछे बिना अनुशासन के मेडल जीते जा सकते हैं। और जब आपके एकेडमी को तोड़ा जा रहा था, जब आप ट्वीट कर रहे थे, तब अनुशासनहीनता नहीं थी, जब देश की गरिमा को कोई आँच नहीं आ रही थी।
अभी तक आप भी देख रहे हैं, कोई हमारे पास नहीं आया, हमारे पास कोई फोन कॉल्स नहीं आया, किसी ने हमें इस तरह का आश्वासन नहीं दिया है कि आपको इंसाफ मिलेगा।
They grapple on the mat and win laurels for the nation, and now they are grappling with the system. All this for an FIR to be filed. Hello and welcome to News Centre. I'm Parikshit Luthra. Wrestlers continue to protest at Jantar Mantar against the Wrestling Federation Chief Brij Bhushan Singh. Solicitor General has told the Supreme Court an FIR against Brij Bhushan Singh will be filed today. The apex court has directed for protection to a minor girl who is among multiple women to accuse Singh of sexual harassment and ill treatment of athletes. Meanwhile, support has been pouring in for wrestlers, with several writing on social media, including Olympic champion Neeraj Chopra joining the chorus. Shivani Bajaj visited Jantar Mantar this morning to find out that even young and upcoming wrestlers had joined the seniors in the protest.
National level and Olympic wrestlers working out, not in a stadium or on a wrestling mat, but at a protest site, getting ready for a fight that could be long. These women wrestlers have been protesting at Delhi's Jantar Mantar, less than 3 kilometers away from the Indian Parliament, demanding action against Wrestling Federation of India Chief and BJP MP Brij Bhushan Singh over allegations of sexual misconduct. The protest began in January but was called off after assurances from Sports Minister Anurag Thakur. The wrestlers have moved the Supreme Court demanding action.
It's early morning here in Delhi's Jantar Mantar, where the wrestlers' protest has entered the 6th day. And as you can see behind me, that the wrestlers have been practicing for their upcoming games since morning. As you can see, not just the big names, including Vinesh Phogat and Sakshi Malik, but also young wrestlers here practicing for their upcoming games and practically living on the streets of Delhi. Yesterday, as we know, that IOA Chief PT Usha had said that wrestlers protesting like this amounts to indiscipline. But the wrestlers here say that they are sports persons and discipline is in their blood.
Lack of support from legendary athlete like PT Usha has hurt the wrestlers.
हम कमेटी के पास 3 महीने पहले गए थे, तब तो मैडम ने फ़ोन भी नहीं उठाए, और मैडम अभी हमें अनुशासनहीन बोल रहे हैं। अनुशासन, मैडम खुद एक एथलीट है, आइकन है हमारे, तो मैडम से पूछे बिना अनुशासन के मेडल जीते जा सकते हैं। और जब आपके एकेडमी को तोड़ा जा रहा था, जब आप ट्वीट कर रहे थे, तब अनुशासनहीनता नहीं थी, जब देश की गरिमा को कोई आँच नहीं आ रही थी। हम भी खिलाड़ी हैं, आपके पास तो राज्यसभा से सांसद भी हैं, आप आयोग के अध्यक्ष भी हैं, उसके बावजूद आपके साथ ऐसा हो सकता है, तो हमारे पास तो कोई ताकत भी नहीं है। हमारे पास तो सभी जो देशवासी 140 करोड़ हिंदुस्तानी, उनकी सभी की जो सपोर्ट है, वही हमारी ताकत है।
And it's not just women. Young and rising male wrestlers have also joined the protests, all putting their careers at risk.
हमारी जो बहन बेटियों के साथ अन्याय हुआ, उनका वो चाहते हैं हम तो जी बस।
और डर लगता है आपको इससे आपके करियर पे इम्पैक्ट होगा कुछ?
अगर इसका कुछ नहीं हुआ तो हमारा तो कुछ वो ही नहीं, आगे हम तो छोड़नी पड़ जाएगी जी हमको ये जी।
तो आप कह रहे हैं कि अगर न्याय नहीं हुआ तो आप रेसलिंग छोड़ देंगे?
हाँ जी,
नहीं खेलेंगे?
ये हरियाणा की अगर नहीं हुआ ना कुछ, तो हरियाणा को ही बिल्कुल पीछे कर देगा ये रेसलिंग को।
हमारे सीनियर इतने दुखी हो रखे हैं, तो हमको तो होना ही पड़ेगा उनकी सपोर्ट देने के लिए। नहीं उनका वो नहीं होता, आगे हम क्या कर पाएंगे? अन्याय नहीं होगा तो छोड़नी तो पड़ेगी। हरियाणा में सबसे ज़्यादा मेडल है, और ये ब्रिज भूषण हरियाणा को सबसे पीछे डालता जा रहा है। ये न्याय तो है ही। हम अपने सीनियरों का सपोर्ट देंगे जब तक ये यहाँ पर, हम भी यहाँ पर ही नहीं।
The celebrated wrestlers of India forced to live on the roads of Delhi. That's the status of the wrestlers' protest here in Delhi's Jantar Mantar. The protesting wrestlers say that they're not afraid to put their careers on stake for justice. Even young wrestlers here say that if justice is not done, they'll be forced to quit wrestling. In Delhi, with video journalist Huday Patra, this is Shivani Bajaj for CNBC-TV18.
All right, so that was Shivani Bajaj reporting from Jantar Mantar. Let's go across to Ashmit Kumar. Ashmit, you were there in Supreme Court today. The Solicitor General informed the Apex Court, yes, an FIR will be filed. How did things pan out in the Apex Court?
Well, the proceedings began with, in fact, the Solicitor General stating that this is indeed a cognizable offence. And after applying its mind, the Delhi police has arrived at the conclusion that it will be registering an FIR and it will be doing so within the space of today itself. Now, but that is not something that satisfied the concerns of Kapil Sibal, the counsel appearing on behalf of the wrestlers. Kapil Sibal argued that, number one, there is a legitimate security threat that is apprehended by the wrestlers in general, and particularly the wrestler who's a minor at this stage. In fact, Kapil Sibal also revealed that the minor wrestler has left Delhi borders fearing the worst, and therefore there needs to be some provision for security. That's number one. The second aspect that was raised by Kapil Sibal is that given the fact that this will also be, in fact, investigated by the Delhi police itself, there needs to be some degree of oversight. There needs to be a task force. There needs to be some degree of monitoring mechanism into the investigations going forward. Now, keeping all these aspects in mind, the Apex Court has passed a short but a pointed order. Number one, the Chief Justice-led bench of the Apex Court has held that given the fact that the Solicitor General himself has submitted, that is something that has been taken on record, that the Delhi police will be registering an FIR. This was the long-standing prayer that was made as a part of the petition that was moved before the Apex Court. Not just that, the Apex Court has very clearly records in its order that there will be protection provided by the Delhi police to the minor wrestler in question. Number three, the Supreme Court order records in its records as a part of this order that there will be no, that this does not bar the Delhi police from providing protection to the other complainants as well, who are currently sitting, as we saw the visuals tell us, that they're sitting in Jantar Mantar. The Delhi police will not be shy of even allowing them protection. And finally, it has asked, the Supreme Court has asked the Delhi police to submit a status report of the action taken and the security that has been provided to these wrestlers by next Friday, which is when the Apex Court will take up this case for further hearing. The Solicitor General not happy with the direction that the Apex Court seemed to be heading in, but nonetheless, the Apex Court making it clear that it's not saying anything more. It will wait for the Delhi police report and take a call at the date of next hearing.
All right. Thank you very much, Ashmit, for joining us. We're now joined by Rahul Mehra, Senior Supreme Court Advocate and sports activist as well. Mr. Mehra, do you feel this is now an attempt by the centre to do damage control, considering the issue has been simmering since January and the wrestlers are back at the protest site this week?
Absolutely. They knew the writing was on the wall. Obviously, the Supreme Court, there is a line of judgments which I've been saying for almost last 4-5 days now, that if a complaint has disclosing commission of a cognizable offence, then the case law is very clear that, it has to be, case has to be registered, and only then the investigation can start. You can't have a preliminary inquiry into such serious offences. Those kind of cases are different. Those are commercial disputes, matrimonial disputes, family disputes, where you could probably have the right to have a preliminary inquiry, not in a case of sexual harassment where one of the complainants is a minor and relating to FOXO. So therefore, I think it was more of a face saver. But nevertheless, the good thing which has come out of it is that the court has kept it pending and will at least monitor it till Friday next, and which is what is important, because otherwise the way things are, this person is a powerful person. The entire government seems to be backing him, and therefore I feel that not only that the next 1 week, but till the time the investigation is going on, there has to be some kind of a monitoring mechanism which has to be there. Because otherwise what will happen is there will be a final cancellation report. They will try and the police will try and help the accused in some way or the other, and which is what needs to be prevented in this case. Free, fair, independent trial.
Mr. Mehra?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Mehra, do you also feel that a larger issue needs to be looked at? Because this is not just about one or two complainants. You've got Olympians here, national champions, national level wrestlers, male wrestlers, budding wrestlers, all of them protesting here at Jantar Mantar, sleeping there, camping there, eating there, exercising there. There are people who are putting their careers online. This is not as simple as one or two people protesting. So do you think the Supreme Court must go into the larger motivations, understand why so many wrestlers are aggrieved by what has happened?
I don't think that's going to happen because that's not the petition before the Supreme Court, and this is not a public interest litigation in which Supreme Court can do a fishing and roving inquiry into various other things. So that's not going to happen. But there are other cases, and there could be a fresh case which could be filed. In fact, public interest litigation against all the federations, and Wrestling Federation is one of those federations. This issue can be taken up. So let's see how things pan out in the next week, 10 days. And then, obviously, there is a judgment, and that's what needs to happen in my own PIL on 16th of August 2022, where the court has very clearly given large-scale reforms to be implemented, in various federations, including the Wrestling Federation of India. Just to give you a sense of it, athlete commissions, the constitution should be there. The players should be there who should be have minimum 25% players should be there in each body, both in the General Assembly as also in the Executive Committee of every federation. So all those large-scale reforms have to come in and they have to be implemented. I was surprised that the government of India said that Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports that probably they have already asked IOA to form a committee which has been constituted by the IOA, and they are the ones who are going to be looking into these elections. And elections are going to happen within the next 45 days. Now, that's very surprising because, unless and until you have last...
This is a rather strong message. Yeah. Right. Mr. Mehra, there's also a very strong message that we're seeing from these visuals that these wrestlers in a united fashion are sending out to the government. What, according to you, is the big message here by the unity we're seeing on the ground, by the fact that so many young wrestlers from across the country have come together? And do you think some sort of guarantee must be given by the government that the careers of these sports persons will not be impacted by the fact that they took on the Wrestling Federation and the government?
So there are two messages out here. One is for the athletes and the other is for the government. For the athletes, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So for the athletes, the message is that if you stay together, if you stay united, nobody can your cause can't be hindered in any which way. And if you stay put the entire course, then eventually there is going to be victory for you. So divide and rule is what usually the British formula was to divide and rule, and which is what these administrators do and the government of the day does. They divide, like P.T. Usha was pitched up against these people. So they divide and rule, and they try and have those fissures within the sports bodies and sports people. Thankfully, all the wrestlers are together in this. Most of the people have now supported. There are only two independent individual gold medal Olympic winners, medalists in Abhinav Bindra and Neeraj Chopra have come in support of these wrestlers. So all in all, I think if you stand together, the message is that you can take on the powers that be. You can take on the mightiest of the government, and you will succeed, provided you have the steam in you to go the whole hog and the entire way. The second is that the message for the government is that, you shouldn't delay things to the extent that ultimately it seems like egg on your face. There is a limit to protecting your own people. There is a limit to ensuring that, if there's a member of parliament, and no matter how powerful that member of parliament within your party might be, he might be a 5 times MP, from your party. But there is a limit to which you can protect and shield somebody. I hope the government has got that message loud and clear.
Right.
That you can't do all of this. You can't indulge in these kind of activities. And eventually, if people of India come together, if people come on the streets, the mightiest of the mightiest fall. And this is what we are seeing right now. The government thought that probably
Mr. Mehra, we're running out of time.
FIR, they'll be able to make sure that there is no FIR in the matter, no investigation in the matter, and that's the end of the story. But kudos to Vinesh, Bajrang Punia and Sakshi Malik, who have led this right from the front, and to all the others like Abhinav and Neeraj who have supported them, and given the courage to all the fence sitters.
Okay, Mr. Mehra, we've run out of time.
To come up.
Yeah. All right, I've run out of time, but appreciate you joining CNBC TV18, giving us your views on the protest that has happened and the proceedings in the Supreme Court as well. Let's take a break at this point. When we return, French automobile major Citroën is looking to amplify its dealer presence in India. A special conversation with the company's CEO, Thierry Koskas, on their plans for the India market.